Hey math friends, we are going to review some combining like terms today by taking expressions, chunking them up into their like terms, and then simplifying as much as possible. So remember that a like term has the exact same variable or are just plain constants. Remember that constants, that word right here, means it is a number without a variable, so just a plain old number. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the expression in number 1. And it's an expression, not an equation, because there's no equal sign. So starting from left to right, just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, I take a look here and I see I've got 4x, and there is no sign to the left, which means it's just a positive 4x. Then the next like term that matches up with that is going to be this positive 3x. Again, remembering to bring that sign to the left. So in terms of my like terms there, I've got 4x plus 3x. Combining those like terms is going to give me 7x, so that takes care of those two. Then I take a look and I see my next set of like terms. I've got a positive 10y and a positive 15y. So I've got 10y plus 15y. It's going to give me a positive 25y. That takes care of those. And last but not least, I've got that plus 20 again, that constant, that number without a variable. So I've got that plus 20. So if I want to go back and put it all together, I've got my 7x. Remember, that's a positive 25y. You can put a sign out front to help you remember, and then you've got that plus 20. There we go, simplified expression. So if we move on to the next example, example number 2, we can follow that exact same procedural steps in terms of starting from left to right, matching up our like terms, trying to keep them in alphabetical order. So I see here again, I've got an 8y, knowing it's positive because there's no sign out front, x, and then I've got a negative 5w or a minus 5w, depending on your terminology, and I can simplify that to a positive 3w. Again, takes care of those like terms. Moving on to our next set, I see I've got a positive 12x and a positive 3x. They are the like terms because they have the exact same variable. Positive 12 plus positive 3. Use your mental math or your handy dandy calculators to help you out here, knowing that's going to be a positive 15x. Again, if you want to keep that sign out front to help you keep track. And then last but not least, we've got that constant of that plus 9. So go ahead and put it all together in alphabetical order. 3w plus 15x plus 9. Bingo, bango, bongo. So here's where I'm going to want you to pause, and I want you to try it for yourself. So I want you to, I don't know if you want to pause it, if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to use the matching problem set on Schoology, whatever works for you, but pause it and try and annotate it for yourself. If you take a screenshot, you can just, what's it called, mark up using the tools on your iPad, or if you want, just scribble down on a scrap piece of paper. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, pause it to try it for yourself, and then when you're ready, hit play and you'll see me solve it. Alrighty, so poof, just like that, that's how we solve it. So as you were working through it, hopefully you were able to identify the like terms of that 5w plus the 7w. That gives us this 12w right here. Then moving on to the x's, I had that negative or minus 16x, keeping that sign to the left, plus 9x, giving me that negative 7x once we combine our like terms. And then last but not least, this one was a little different because it had two constants. So I see I've got a plus 3 and a plus 18, giving me that positive 21. So again, combining those into our simplified expression of that 12w minus 7x plus 21. How'd you do? Alrighty, same thing, new example, blank screen. I want you to try it on your own. There's a lot of negatives in here, so just make sure you're being careful. But yeah, go ahead and try this one on your own. I'm gonna give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, pause it. Again, screenshot it, send it over to Notability, however you wanna do it. But then the next screen you're gonna see is it solved out, and that's all we got. Pause it, please. So there we go. There's the simplified version. But if you take a look, it's a little different than the ones we had already done because there was only one set of like terms to combine. I have my minus 6x and my plus 3x combining to get me that minus 3x. But then I had my plus 15y and my minus 5w. Those aren't like terms. They don't have the same variable, so they can't be combined. And then my constant of minus 14, remembering to keep those signs to the left. So if I'm going to go ahead and write out my simplified expression, ideally things are going to be in alphabetical order. So I've got my minus 5w, got that one. I've got my minus 3x, I've got that one. I've got my plus 15y, yep, and then I have my minus 14. Bingo, bango, bongo. How'd you do?